If it takes you any longer than a few hours to write a VSL script, you're probably doing something very wrong. But it's more likely to do with the fact that you don't have access to the secret AI mega prompt that I'm about to show you inside this video. So whether you sell physical products, digital products, high ticket coaching, high ticket courses, it does not matter, because this approach works across virtually any market. And the reason for that is every single VSL, video sales letter, follows the exact same framework. And I'm going to show you that exact framework, as well as give you a master AI prompt that can write it all in seconds. I'm going to show you how to come up with your big idea, write hooks that actually keep people watching, and structure your VSL so that it prints cash on autopilot. So before we get into the structure, the framework, and the AI prompt that I'm going to give you, first of all, you need to understand what a VSL is and why it's so important. Otherwise, the rest of what I'm going to show you in the video isn't going to make any fucking sense to you. So I want you to imagine yourself as the customer. You see an ad or a piece of content, you click through, and what happens next will determine if you buy or bounce. So ads and content, that's your interest, click, consideration, VSL is the close. Now, that's the funnel. Very simple stuff here. A video sales letter, your VSL, is the bridge where a maybe becomes a need this now. Once you've got them to this part, if you don't have a VSL, you've got a significantly less chance of booking a call or getting them to take the desired action that you want to. And most top businesses know that a good VSL outperforms salespeople because it works 24/7 and delivers the perfect pitch every time. Now, I'm not saying this takes away from your salespeople. If you have a sales team, you need to book calls, then this still helps you because it pre-sells them. But what I'm saying is, no VSL, VSL. VSL is always going to win. So even if most people are like, I don't need a VSL. You do. Most people do. Now, this is another thing. 70% of success comes down to the script. 25% of success comes down to the delivery, and 5% comes down to the editing, graphics, and the fancy shit. Everybody seems to think that it's like where you do your VSL. If I do my VSL on a beach, I'm gonna print cash with this. It's a load of shit. 70% of it comes down to the script and the words that's used to persuade the viewer into actually making that desired action. That's where all the success comes down to. Now, a big part of success is the person who's delivering the script. If you have someone that's doing a VSL and they sit on it and they're like, so today you're going to learn about, you're never going to sell anything with that. They need to be precise in how they speak and just have a bit of charisma and be able to speak on camera. That is going to take round about 25% of the success. But this is why AI is so powerful, because we can prompt it to create a near-on perfect VSL in minutes. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you. So there's a hidden key to success in VSLs. Again, we're going to get to the frameworks and we're going to get to the prompt, but you need to know this stuff or else it's not going to work, because this is the hidden key to success. If you don't absolutely nail this part that I'm about to share, it won't matter how good your VSL is and how well you present it and how fucking fancy your editing skills are, because it still won't work. And that is your big idea. This is the main theme, sales angle, or core concept behind your marketing. I see so many people, they come to me and then they're like, oh, I've got this idea for this. And I'm like, right, what's the big idea here? And it's just like, oh, it's my offer. And it's like, no, that's your offer, that's your product. That's not the big idea, the sales angle behind it. So let me break down exactly what the big idea is and why it's the make or break. So the big idea is the unique angle or perspective that makes your audience stop and think, wait, I've never heard it explained this way. Okay, it's what makes them keep watching when they would normally click away because it's so new to them. Most VSLs fail because they focus on the features and the benefits and other selfish marketing shit. They just want to talk about all the fancy features in their course or in their mentorship or whatever it is, and they don't focus on this one sales angle. Your prospects have seen countless offers in your market, and they've seen the same old promises and they've seen the same old frameworks. And when I say big idea, I don't mean like when we speak about mechanisms, the 4-step proprietary fucking outreach method 4.0 fucking trademark thing. Like, that is not a fucking big idea. Loads of people, I see all this and like the coaches coaching coaches that coach coaches, right? And it's the same fucking thing that they all do, and the top coach teaches the other ones and the other ones teach the other ones, right? And they just throw like a crazy name on it, and it's like the content client getting flywheel trademark. I don't know. And that's up to them. But your big idea is what cuts through numbness and creates immediate interest. I've actually got a really good one here that I'm going to show you. I'm giving away the prompts. Where is it? And this is the one that I used. So this one was for like a copywriting one. The invisible rulebook. Why most successful copywriters aren't better writers. They're better decoders of the hidden patterns that trigger automatic buying decisions. That's a good big idea. Right, let's go back to this. So now we're going to get on to the prompts and the frameworks. So I'm going to give you this prompt away and the prompt for the VSL. So if you want that, just click the link in the description and I'll send it to you. But this is your big ideas prompt. So first of all, you need a brief. Your brief is, you'll get that inside the prompt, but it's basically what tells AI about your target audience, the offer, the fucking features, the benefits, all that stuff. It gives AI context to what you're fucking selling and who you're selling it to. So this is your prompt. What you're going to do is you're going to put this prompt in, followed with your creative brief or your offer brief here, and that's going to include your product details and stuff. Now, when you do that, you're going to get something like the one that I just showed you about the hidden rulebook for copywriting. But when you use this prompt, it forces you to look beyond surface level marketing angles, like sign more clients. It's going to find the hidden parts that you're not going to be able to think of yourself unless you're fucking, I don't know, Dan Kennedy or something. And so like here, we've got the inverse scale method, how reducing your client base by 60% triggers a 300% revenue explosion. I think the copywriting one was better. This is what a powerful big idea does. And it doesn't just give you one big idea, you can use it multiple times if you don't like them. And remember, it's not what you think is going to work, it's what's actually going to work. And a lot of the time, AI knows what's going to work better than you because it has more data. So when you nail your big idea first, the VSL is almost going to write itself because you've already established the perfect foundation for your entire sales argument. You've got your one big idea and the rest of the VSL is going to flow through that. Next, we're going to go into the VSL structure. Now, this is exactly how the AI is going to write it, and this is how most VSLs are kind of scripted, and most sales pages. Sales pages and VSL tend to be roughly about the same. Sometimes if you go and look on ClickBank, the VSL is actually just the spoken word of the sales page. So, the hook stroke micro lead. This is the first 15 seconds, and this is what's going to determine whether you're stay or leave. A banger hook creates an immediate pattern interrupt with something unexpected, something that makes them think, wait, what? Never heard that before. It challenges their current beliefs and about solving their problem while simultaneously promising a specific outcome that they desperately want. The lead section. So this is just following on from your hook. You're going to quickly establish the problem that your viewer is facing, and you don't just name the problem, you need to make them feel it emotionally so that they feel heard and they relate to you. You identify their core struggle, build curiosity to your solution without revealing it, but you tell them that you've got the answer. And you explain why previous approaches might have failed them. The goal here is to agitate the pain point enough that they're primed for your solution, and also don't forget, just to get them reading, you need to use open loops through this lead section. Well, you don't need to because AI writes it. So, the background story, very important part here. This is the part that builds trust between you and the viewer. So you share your personal story, or it could be like a testimonial story. My client Dave was just like you. He went like this and this and this and this and this. The most effective background stories follow this pattern. I was just like you. Then this happened, and then this happened, and it's like the hero arc. They go through the down part, and that's where they're in pain, and then it leads them to discover solution, and now everything's different. Now I've got a Lamborghini. I don't know. They need to feel connected to the story and relate to it. So that's why, like, the one that we're going to sample here is like a copywriting one. And it's like the typical, oh, I was working in McDonald's like you, and I had no money, and I had £8 in my bank, and this happened. Then I found copywriting, and I was able to make $133 million in 1 month. Like, that is shit, right? So they need to feel connected to it though. Throughout the parts when you're speaking about the pain points, they need to be able to relate. Part 4 is your unique mechanism. This is a bit like the big idea, but this is your framework for getting them from in pain to result, which is going to be your part B. And it's going to reveal a truth about their problem that nobody else is talking about. And that's why this is different. So it helps them see why everything else they've tried has failed. You're then going to transition to your breakthrough solution that addresses this at the root cause, use vivid analogies and proof to validate all your claims. And that could be what yourself, like what you've done, what you've achieved, or it could be your client testimonials. It just depends what offer you're writing for or which offer you have. Part 5 is the offer reveal. Now you've given them the problem and the solution. Now you give them your product. You position this as the practical implementation of the same solution that you've built up. Each feature is connected directly to solving a specific pain point, and you emphasize what makes your approach uniquely effective compared to alternatives. Part 6 is the close section. Now, this is where a lot of people fuck up, right? You want to use urgency and remove risk, essentially. But the way that you do this is just you recap all the problems, show them the solution again, but this is really important here. A crystal clear call to action, repeated multiple times, so that there's no confusion on what to do next. A lot of people get to the close and they're like, click a call, click to book a call. They don't tell you what's going to happen on the call. They don't tell you the next parts. You need to be like, click the link to get your breakthrough call, where we'll devise a strategic roadmap to get you from A to B, and we'll give you this, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You need to tell them exactly the steps that they're going to take next. Top tip, to create urgency, you don't need to use limited spots or limited availability. You can just tell them, without this solution, the pain will still be there. It's really simple to create urgency. You just need to make sure that they're feeling the pain enough that they're like, I don't care if there's limited spots or not, I just can't stay the way that I am. That's probably one of the best arguments to actually create urgency. So right here, this is part of the document that you're going to get if you click the link in the description. You get your big idea prompt. Once you've got your big idea, you're going to type in this. This is the VSL prompt that you're going to use, and it's going to write everything for you. You're an expert direct response copywriter with decades of experience. Write a compelling video sales letter script for insert brief. This is where you insert your brief, telling the target audience, the offer details, everything else. And then the main angle, big idea is, and you're going to put in your big idea. The main call to action is book a call, sign up, buy now, whatever your thing is. And then it's got all the structure to follow. And it's also got like instructions, and it's got style guidelines as well. And that's going to basically tell it to write it as a direct response copywriter would. And this is the super important part. Now, I've already done this for this one, which is like the invisible rulebook for copywriters. And we're taking like beginner copywriters and people who want to get into copywriting. And this is what it comes out with. I've not edited this at all, one single bit. So let's just look at I'm not going to go through all of this because then we would be another fucking 20 minutes. But essentially all you want to do in this part is just remove parts, cut down, and maybe change some wording to, sometimes it'll come out, it's going to come out really good, but sometimes if you want to add on your own charisma or your own words and phrases, that's where you do this now. But let's just look at the hook. Have you ever wondered why some copywriters can charge $10,000 for a single sales page while others struggle to make $500? Boom, there we've pattern interrupt, and people are going to think, oh, well, yeah, why am I only able to charge $500? It's not their writing talent, it's not their experience, and it's definitely not luck. What if I told you the difference between struggling copywriters and six-figure professionals isn't better writing at all? That's the contrarian belief. They're like, oh, what the fuck's this? What I thought it was all to do with writing, I've never heard this before. The truth is, there's an invisible rulebook that elite copywriters use to practically force buying decisions, and most aspiring copywriters don't even know that this exists. People are going to keep fucking watching here. Again, we lead into the lead section where we do everything we said in the previous parts of the video. We've got the background story, and then we've got the unique mechanism where we tell them exactly how this thing works. Then we've got the product reveal, which is telling them about this isn't a copywriting course, it's a complete system, and then we're going to tell them everything. Now, in this part, sometimes it does this when it's like the connect pattern, the research decoder, the angle accelerator. In that, I would normally just remove those parts, but it's because of the brief that I put in. So inside your brief, if you detail all of your modules or everything that the person gets, it's going to put that in here. But because I never put it in, it's using these fucking, I hate this shit, test multiplier, what the fuck's that? But you would just put in, over the 8 weeks you'll master, or over the 8 weeks you'll get access to over 40 modules of video lessons, bi-weekly coaching calls with a dedicated success manager, blah, 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 blah. You put all that in. And then the closed section. Now, again, in the closed section, sometimes like here, it's added in the price. So typically for this type of VSL, when it's just book a call, we wouldn't actually reveal the price. So you would just change this about to just book a call. But if it is just a buy now product, then this is perfect. You just put your prices in and then you are done. And that is pretty much the full VSL prompt. It's going to do this in a few seconds. Once you've done the angle, the big idea and your brief, it's going to write this in about a minute, and then you can spend an hour editing it, making sure it's bang on, and you've got a fully ready to go VSL in less than an hour. So let's just recap what we went over there. When you're writing your VSL, the single most important part is your big idea. Without having a solid big idea, the rest of the VSL is going to flop. Doesn't matter how well it's written or how well it's presented or how fancy your fucking editing is. Number two is, with this AI prompt, it's going to follow the structure. You can slightly change the structure. If you're doing like B2B, you might want to remove a bit more of the storytelling stuff to it and just focus more on what they're actually getting in the results. But most successful VSLs are going to follow a very similar pattern to this, so make sure that you use a very similar pattern and structure to this. And then number three, just take time to read and edit this. Don't go to film anything when it's just come straight out of AI. You're going to edit it, take about an hour, and that's pretty much it. It's so simple now. If you're taking like 6 hours a day, 3 days a week to write a VSL, you're doing something wrong, because AI exists now and we can literally just plug it in. But like I said at the start of the video, the reason that it's probably taking you so long is because you don't have access to this prompt. So again, if you want that prompt, just click the link in the description, hit the subscribe button when you're there, and I will see you guys in the next video.